In this session, we're going to familiarize ourselves with the basics of Parasoft's Rule Wizard. I am using Visual Studio 2022 here with a Parasoft plugin installed. Parasoft is a plugin to Visual Studio or any Eclipse-based IDE that contains or has code analysis rules. It has a total of 5,115 static analysis rules as of recording. However, Parasoft also bundled a RuleWizard editor, which allows the user to create their own rule and expanding the number of rules which is provided here. Let us begin. I'm going to create a custom rule that tracks the usage of begin thread or begin thread, mainly because I observed that this particular Windows API can be prone to error. Begin thread, for example, requires a corresponding close handle, otherwise there is a resource leak. On the other hand, the begin thread, if the thread exits quickly, will return an invalid handle. So two things could happen, a resource leak or invalid handle. And therefore, as you can see, I have to create a rule that tracks the uses of these uh, APIs. If it, as such, the newly created rule becomes part of the other rules that I already enabled and included in the report. Let us begin. Click this Parasoft menu and lands RuleWizard. So this is the main editor where you can create your new rules. File, new, rule. In the dictionary, select C and C++, simply because the rule is valid for both languages. It's a function call after all. And then select by node. If you select auto create, you can paste a code snippet and it will create a rule for you, but I find creating manually more accurate. So I will create by node instead, right? So to review, what we are looking is a function call. So the dictionary here consists of tokens, expressions, and elements that represent various elements of C and C++ language, like an if condition, a dereference pointer, and a function call construct. So we are looking for a function call, and that node is represented by this token, miscellaneous, this one. I hope you can see that at the lower left here, it is indeed a function call expression. If on the other hand, I'm going to select the one to the top of this, which is asterisk A, and you can see that this one is a dereference expression. So we can begin to see now that these various constructs of C and C++ are or have their representation in the dictionary here. So let's go back to the function call expression because what we're looking for is a function call. I will click OK button. Now we have this node here. So it works like a state machine where you are to click this node and modify it. Right now we only have a function call expression. The rule engine needs additional information in order to know what to look for. Therefore, we need to qualify it. So right click on this node and then qualify it that it is a global function. Declaration, function. global function. After all, begin thread x is a global function. After qualifying that the function call that we're looking is a global function, okay, not a member function of a class, we have to qualify it further to specify the name of the function. So just like a state machine, right click on this new node here. Okay, we're jumping to a new node and right click and then qualify it further. There's a more menu item here and we can see that the name is here. We are presented with a regular expression edit box, so we have to specify the function name that we're looking here using regular expression symbols. Caret, begin, thread, dollar, or caret, begin, thread, x, dollar. You can add more here by separating them with the or symbol, such as you're looking for wait for single object or close handle. In this session, I'm just going to look for these two functions, begin thread and begin thread x. Click OK. You will notice that the nodes here are in red color. If the rule engine satisfies what is being declared in the custom rule here, as we express our intention to look for a global function, which is the either begin thread or begin thread x. If such is satisfied by the rule engine, then we have to print something. So click this parent node here, the, the function called syntax, and create an output and say something. If the usage of this API is found, then you have to say uh, review this function. This is the message that will appear during static analysis run. Click OK. Now there's no red color. It is time to associate this or create a rule ID for this. Right-click to the surface area and select Properties. Now the rule ID has a special naming convention that it must be separated with a hyphen. To the left of the hyphen is the rules category. So I will name it as ASAP for as soon as possible. Hyphen, then the name of the rule. Let us just say that it's a Win API rule. So observe that there's a hyphen separator, and to the left of the hyphen is the category. Sooner or later, if you create new rules having the same ASAP as the left of the hyphen, that new rule shall fall to the same grouping as this one, because a category is what groups rules together. And the header, I'll just say something to give some context. Be careful with this function. And in the author, I'll write the author's name. In the severity, please just accept as medium. Even after a rule has been created, you always have a chance to modify the severity at any time. Okay, no problem. I'll just accept medium for now. In the description tab, can add your description here or code snippet, or you can paste some URL here. After all, uh, anything that you put in the description shall be rendered as HTML when you are to view the particular rules documentation. Click OK. Everything is set. I will save the custom rule now to my hard disk file. Save desktop. Then I will save this here as um, ASAP when API. This one is a binary file. Save. Close the rule wizard. Now launch Parasoft test configuration. We will create an An empty set test configuration, expand static analysis, and select matrix, which is my favorite. Right, double click on matrix and then rename this. So to be consistent, I'll just rename this to ASAP. Notice that this particular static analysis test configuration or rule sets has 0 enabled. Right now, you can select some of these built-in ones, but what we're going to do instead is we will add the new custom rule that we just created into this empty set called ASAP. Click the import button, click the browse button, and in the desktop, select the binary file that we just created. Open. Okay. You will see that this different looking icon here is now added ASAP, and you expand, it has the rule that we created. In here, we can always edit the rule here. Close that. Uh, do not worry about the unknown. At this point, there is nothing unknown. Everything is known at this point. It is just a description. The unknown string there is just a description ASAP. In fact, let me fix that now. Um, while selecting this, click Edit Role Map and click Categories and then click New. And the category ID, type ASAP, and then in the description, type as soon as possible. And if the Save Changes here is disabled, just click to the Clones tab and go back to the Categories tab and it will be enabled. Save changes. Okay. And you will see that the disturbing and unknown message there is gone. It is now meaningful. Says as soon as possible. The rules category is ASAP and it has one rule ID, which is be careful with this function, the ASAP hyphen when API with a severity of 3. Okay, right now 0 enabled is in the ASAP test configuration. Let us select this one, the new rule that we just created. Now we have 1 enabled, apply and close. Let us try to give it a test run. Right click to the project, Parasoft, test using user-defined static analysis. And this here is our new test configuration rule set named ASAP, consisting of one rule, which is the one we just created, that we look for the begin thread X or begin thread function calls. Select this one, and in the output, let's see to the message logs. And it found one violations. If we go to the quality task here, as soon as possible, be careful with this function. And then if we double click this guy here, review this function manually, and we will be pointed to that particular instance where the function is used. Take note that if we go down here, there is a begin thread X, which is in a comment form. However, it is not being flagged as a included in the search because the search here is done in the abstract syntax tree of during static analysis. So this is not a simple grep. It has elements of uh, semantics of the language here. Here, you can right click and view documentation. And here we can see the thing that we input in our description a while ago. It is rendered as an HTML. If we put some URL here, we can click that URL and we'll jump into that URL page. So let me delete these results. Let me show you how to change the severity. So open again the Parasoft, this configuration, static analysis, ASAP. Severity here is 3. So click Edit Role Map, and then in the rules here, while in the rules tab, click New and change the severity to highest and specify the rule ID, which is ASAP when API. As usual, if the save changes is disabled, do a quick switch to a different tab and then go back to rules, and you will see save changes is now enabled. Click that button now, save changes, and OK. So you will notice that the priority has changed to 1, apply, close. Sometimes it's better to restart Visual Studio to for changes to take effect to be sure. And let's try to do another run. View rule documentation, and you can see that the um, severity is now changed to 1. And that is all for the basics